The quantum resonance detector aboard Deep Space Research Station Prometheus had never registered anything like this before. Dr. Maya Patel stared at the readings, her dark eyes reflecting the holographic display's ethereal glow. After 8 years of scanning the depths of space for signs of intelligent life, they'd finally found something extraordinary. "Computer, verify these readings," she commanded, her voice steady despite her racing heart. The station's AI responded immediately, its neutral tone contrasting with the significance of the moment. "Readings verified, Dr. Patel. The quantum signature shows clear signs of artificial manipulation. Pattern suggests deliberate communication attempts." Maya's fingers danced across the haptic interface, initiating deeper analysis protocols. The signal was unlike anything in their database, delicate, precise, almost musical in its quantum fluctuations. As she studied the patterns, the station's communications system activated. "Dr. Patel, your presence is requested in operations immediately," announced Station Commander Elena Rodriguez, her voice carrying the weight of authority earned through decades of space service. Minutes later, Maya stood before the command staff, the mysterious signal dancing in the air between them. Commander Rodriguez's weathered face showed no emotion as she studied the data, while Chief Security Officer Marcus Way leaned forward, his cybernetic eye whirring as it processed the information. "It's definitely artificial," Maya explained, highlighting specific patterns. "The quantum entanglement is too precise to be natural. Whatever created this has technology at least comparable to ours." "Hostile?" Marcus asked, his hand unconsciously moving to the pistol at his hip. "I don't think so," Maya replied. "The energy signature is minimal, just enough to carry information. If they wanted to attack, there are far more efficient ways to use quantum technology." Dr. James Norton, the station's xenolinguistics expert, spoke up from his position at the analysis terminal. "There's structure here, clear linguistic patterns. The computer's already building a basic translation matrix." The room fell silent as the first translated fragments appeared on the main display, "Seeking sanctuary. Pursued. Please help." Commander Rodriguez straightened, her expression grave. "Refugees?" Before anyone could respond, new quantum signatures flared across the detection grid. Unlike the gentle patterns of the first signal, these were harsh, aggressive spikes that made the sensors protest. "Multiple quantum wake signatures detected," the station AI announced. 6 vessels, configuration unknown, approaching at relativistic speeds. Estimated arrival, 38 minutes. "The pursuers they mentioned," Maya whispered. Commander Rodriguez was already moving. "Sound General Quarters. Get me Earth Command on Quantum Comm, Dr. Norton, Dr. Patel, I need to know everything about that first signal. Who they are, what they're running from, and what kind of trouble they're bringing to our doorstep." The next 30 minutes passed in a blur of activity. The translation matrix improved rapidly as more of the refugee signal was decoded. They called themselves the Lumini, a species of energy-sensitive beings who had refused to submit to the hegemony's demands for their quantum manipulation technology. "They're not just refugees," Norton explained, his earlier academic detachment replaced by urgency. "They're scientists, researchers. They've made breakthroughs in quantum physics that the hegemony wants to weaponize. The pursuing vessels would reach them first in approximately 3 minutes." Maya studied the quantum readings from the approaching ships. The Lumini vessel's signature was elegant, efficient, a testament to their scientific advancement. The hegemony ships, by contrast, blazed like quantum bonfires, raw power without finesse. Through the observation window, Maya caught her first glimpse of the Lumini ship as it dropped out of quantum space, a crystalline structure that seemed to flow like liquid metal, its surface rippling with patterns of energy that reminded her of the quantum signature that had first caught her attention. As the Lumini were guided to safety, Maya knew that whatever came next, humanity had a duty to protect these refugees. Not just because it was right, but because the advancement of science itself might depend on it. The hegemony ships were now just minutes away, and with them would come humanity's first diplomatic crisis of the galactic age. But as she watched the Lumini being escorted to the station's secure conference room, their forms shimmering with patterns of light that spoke of both fear and hope, Maya smiled. The hegemony was about to learn that humans had a long history of standing up to bullies, no matter what galaxy they came from. Commander Rodriguez's voice came over the station's comm system, clear and resolute. All hands, battle stations. Let's show our guests that humanity knows how to treat friends, and how to handle those who threaten them. The crystalline vessel of the Lumini pulsed with a soft azure glow as it docked with Station Prometheus. Maya watched through the observation window as the alien refugees emerged, beings of translucent light whose forms rippled like auroras in Earth's polar skies. But there was no time to marvel at their beauty. The hegemony pursuit fleet would arrive in less than 30 minutes. Their weapon systems are primitive, announced Zara, the lead Lumini scientist, their form flickering with what the translation matrix interpreted as disdain. They rely on brute quantum force rather than precision. Commander Rodriguez leaned over the tactical display, her weathered features illuminated by its glow. Primitive or not, 6 warships can do a lot of damage. We need options. Maya's mind raced as she studied the quantum readings from the Lumini ship. Their technology was elegant, refined, decades ahead of human advancement in some areas, yet surprisingly complementary to Earth's innovations in others. An idea began to form. What if we combined approaches, she suggested, turning to Zara. Your quantum manipulation expertise with our defense grid algorithms? The Lumini scientists' form brightened with interest. Elaborate. For the next 15 minutes, the quantum lab became a fusion of human and Lumini science. Maya and her team worked alongside the alien researchers, their different approaches to physics creating something entirely new. They weren't just building a defense system, they were writing new rules for how quantum fields could interact. Multiple quantum signatures detected, the station AI announced. Hegemony fleet dropping out of FTL in 3 minutes. Marcus Way's voice crackled over the comm. How's that defense system coming, Dr. Patel? Because our guests are about to have company. Almost there, Maya replied, her fingers dancing across holographic controls while Zara manipulated pure quantum fields beside her. But it's not exactly what we originally planned. Instead of trying to match the hegemony's brute force approach, they had developed something subtler. The station's defense grid was now interwoven with Lumini quantum fields in ways that defied conventional physics. Every weapon blast would be redirected, every scan confused by layers of quantum interference. Hegemony fleet has arrived, the AI reported. They are taking up attack positions. Through the main viewport, Maya watched as 6 massive warships materialized. Their hulls bristled with weapon ports, quantum drives pulsing with barely contained power. A show of force meant to intimidate. Opening communication channel, the AI announced. The hegemony commander's image appeared on the main screen, a towering figure encased in ornate battle armor. Research Station Prometheus, the translation matrix rendered their words. You harbor fugitives from justice. Surrender them immediately. Commander Rodriguez stood straight, her voice steady. The Lumini have requested asylum under Earth's interstellar refugee protocols. We do not recognize your authority in this matter. You primitives understand nothing, the commander snarled. The Lumini possess technologies too dangerous for their own good. Their research threatens the stability of the galaxy itself. Surrender them, or we will take them by force. Interesting choice of words, Rodriguez replied calmly. Calling us primitives while threatening violence against a research station. Perhaps you'd like a demonstration of just how primitive we are? She nodded to Maya, who activated the new defense system. The effect was immediate and stunning. Quantum fields rippled across the station's hull in patterns that mimicked the Lumini's natural bioluminescence. When the hegemony ships launched their first salvos, the energy weapons seemed to slide around the station like water flowing around a rock. Impossible, the hegemony commander breathed. No, Maya said quietly, watching their attacks dissipate harmlessly. Just good science and better cooperation. Something your hegemony might want to learn about. The hegemony responded by increasing their weapon power, pouring enough energy into their attacks to tear apart a small moon. But the combined human Lumini defense held, each blast being redirected into harmless quantum noise. Their weapons are draining power faster than expected, Zara observed, their form pulsing with what seemed like satisfaction. They cannot maintain this level of attack for long. Marcus's tactical analysis confirmed it. The hegemony ship's quantum signatures were fluctuating, their massive energy expenditure straining their systems. They had expected an easy victory over a primitive species. Instead, they had found an immovable object that refused to yield to their unstoppable force. Perhaps, Commander Rodriguez suggested to the increasingly frustrated hegemony commander, it's time we discussed this situation like civilized beings? Unless you'd prefer to continue this impressive but ultimately futile light show? Maya smiled as she monitored the defense grid's performance. The hegemony was learning what Earth's history had shown time and again: technology alone didn't determine the outcome of conflicts. Innovation, cooperation, and the will to stand up for what was right often mattered more than raw power. But as she watched the hegemony fleet regroup, she knew this was just the beginning. They had won the first round, but the hegemony wouldn't accept defeat easily. Humanity's first interstellar crisis was far from over, but they had shown the galaxy that Earth would not be easily intimidated, especially when standing beside their newfound friends. The quantum holograms in Prometheus Station's command center painted the room in an ethereal light as Earth's emergency council materialized around the table. Maya stood beside Commander Rodriguez, watching the faces of humanity's leadership as they processed the situation. Let me be clear, Council President Chen said, her holographic form leaning forward. You've not only granted asylum to an alien species we knew nothing about 6 hours ago, but you've also engaged in defensive action against a powerful interstellar empire? With respect, Madam President, Rodriguez replied, we engaged in protecting refugees from what amounts to technological piracy. The hegemony's own transmissions confirm they're after the Lumini's research, not any actual crimes. Maya stepped forward, gesturing to the quantum field data floating between them. The Lumini's understanding of quantum mechanics is revolutionary. Their insights could advance human science by decades. But more importantly, she added, meeting the Council's eyes, they came to us for help. They trusted humanity to do the right thing. A new alarm cut through the discussion. Multiple quantum signatures detected, the station AI announced. 17 additional hegemony vessels entering the system. Estimated arrival, 40 minutes. The council chamber erupted in concerned murmurs. They're escalating, Defense Minister Walsh observed grimly. This is no longer a simple pursuit mission. No, Marcus confirmed from his tactical station. This is a battle fleet. They mean to make an example of us. Maya exchanged glances with Zara, who had been observing silently. The Lumini scientists' form pulsed with complex patterns of regret and determination. We never intended to bring war to your doorstep, they communicated. Perhaps we should. Don't finish that thought, Maya interrupted. Humanity doesn't abandon friends because the situation gets difficult. President Chen's hologram stood, commanding attention. Commander Rodriguez, your actions have committed Earth to a path we cannot easily step back from. But, she raised a hand as the hegemony's fleet composition appeared in the display, neither can we allow an aggressive empire to believe they can threaten Earth facilities with impunity. You have the Council's full support. The next 30 minutes transformed Prometheus Station into a hive of frenzied activity. Earth's quantum defense fleet was mobilizing, but they were hours away. The station would face the hegemony's reinforcements alone. In the quantum lab, Maya and the Lumini researchers worked at the edge of theoretical physics. Their previous defense had worked against 6 ships, but 17 was another matter entirely. They needed something more. The hegemony believes quantum fields can only be used as weapons, Zara observed, their light patterns shifting thoughtfully. They never considered. Considered what? Maya asked, recognizing the tone of scientific breakthrough. In our research, we discovered quantum fields could be harmonized, like music, Zara explained, their form brightening with excitement. Not just for communication, but for manipulation of spacetime itself. Maya's eyes widened as she followed the implications. You're talking about quantum resonance on a massive scale. If we could sync the station's defense grid with your quantum harmonics, we could create a bubble of altered spacetime around the station, Zara finished. Their weapons wouldn't just miss us, they'd be operating under different physical laws entirely. It was theoretical, untested, and possibly dangerous. It was also exactly the kind of impossible solution that had defined humanity's greatest achievements. How long? Commander Rodriguez asked, and they presented the plan. 20 minutes to reconfigure the systems, Maya answered. But Commander, this goes beyond defensive screens. We're talking about actively manipulating the fabric of spacetime. If our calculations are off by even a fraction, the alternative is waiting to be destroyed by an empire that thinks might makes right, Rodriguez replied. Make it happen. As Maya rushed back to the lab, a message from the approaching hegemony fleet played across the station's communications. This is Fleet Admiral Voss of the Hegemony Armada. Your defiance ends today. Surrender the Lumini in their research, or we will reduce your station to quantum particles. You have 20 minutes to comply. In the quantum lab, humans and Lumini worked side by side, their different approaches to science merging into something new. They weren't just fighting for survival now, they were rewriting the rules of what was possible. The station's warning system counted down the minutes as they worked. The hegemony fleet drew closer, their quantum signatures blazing with enough power to shatter worlds. But in the lab, Maya saw something more powerful. 2 species united by the pursuit of knowledge and the determination to stand against intimidation. Ready, Maya announced as the final calibrations completed. Through the viewport, the hegemony fleet had appeared, their weapons already charging. Now we show them, Zara communicated, their form pulsing with fierce pride, what happens when you threaten those who dare to think differently. Maya activated the system, and reality itself seemed to hold its breath. As Maya activated the quantum harmonic system, space itself seemed to ripple around Prometheus Station. The combined human Lumini technology created effects that defied conventional physics, a shimmering bubble of altered reality that made the station look like a mirage in space. Hegemony fleet is firing, Marcus announced from Tactical, his cybernetic eye tracking multiple threat vectors at once. Multiple quantum-tipped warheads incoming. The assembled crew and council members watched in tense silence as the first wave of weapons approached. When they hit the quantum harmony field, something extraordinary happened. Instead of impacting or being deflected, the warhead seemed to lose coherence, their matter dispersing into harmless particles that drifted away like cosmic dust. Impossible. Fleet Admiral Voss's voice boomed across the command channel. What trickery is this? Commander Rodriguez allowed herself a small smile. Not trickery, Admiral. Just good science. Your weapons can't hurt us if they can't exist in the same spacetime configuration as our station. But victory celebrations were premature. Alarms blared as new readings appeared on Maya's displays. The hegemony fleet was adapting, reconfiguring their weapons to match the quantum frequency of the defense field. They're learning, Zara observed, their luminescent form pulsing with concern. The hegemony's technological understanding is crude, but they compensate with overwhelming force. Maya's fingers flew across her console as she analyzed the data. They're trying to overload our field by matching its resonance. Like shattering a glass with the right sound frequency, but on a quantum scale. Through the viewport, the hegemony fleet had arranged itself in a new formation. Energy began to build between their ships, creating a web of destructive potential that made the sensors scream in protest. They're linking their quantum drives, Marcus reported. Combining power to create a single, massive weapon. President Chen's hologram turned to Maya. Options, Doctor? Maya exchanged glances with Zara and the other Lamini researchers. In that moment of shared understanding, a plan formed, dangerous, possibly insane, but very human in its audacity. We can't stop their attack, Maya said slowly, but we can use it against them. The Lamini discovered that quantum fields can be harmonized like music. What if we treated the hegemony's weapon like another instrument in our quantum orchestra? Zara's form brightened with comprehension. Yes. Their energy wave would become part of our defensive harmony, strengthening it rather than breaking it. The calculations would have to be perfect, Maya continued. One mistake and we'd be torn apart at the quantum level. But if it works? If it works, we turn their greatest weapon into our strongest shield, Rodriguez finished. She studied the tactical display for a long moment, watching the hegemony's energy web grow more complex. Do it. What followed was a symphony of science and desperation. Maya and the Lamini worked in perfect synchronization, their different approaches to physics merging into something entirely new. Human ingenuity combined with Lamini insight, creating solutions that neither species could have achieved alone. Energy buildup in the hegemony fleet reaching critical levels, the station AI announced. They will fire in 30 seconds. Maya's hands moved across the quantum controls, making final adjustments. Beside her, Zara and their fellow researchers manipulated pure quantum fields, their forms pulsing with concentrated effort. Remember, Maya said to her team, we're not fighting their energy, we're welcoming it, directing it, making it part of our song. 20 seconds to hegemony weapon discharge. Throughout the station, crew members held their breath. The defensive bubble around them shimmered with increasing intensity as they prepared to catch a wave of energy that could shatter planets. 10 seconds. Maya looked up at the viewport, watching the web of destructive potential between the hegemony ships reach its peak. In that moment, she felt a strange sense of peace. This was what humanity did best, facing impossible odds with innovation, cooperation, and sheer determination. 5 seconds. Ready, Maya announced, her voice steady. 4, 3, 2, 1. The hegemony weapon fired, releasing enough energy to tear a moon apart. But as it reached Prometheus Station's quantum harmony field, something beautiful happened. Instead of destruction, there was transformation. The attacking energy was caught in their quantum symphony, redirected and repurposed by the combined genius of two species working as one. A wave of iridescent light spread outward from the station, turning the weapon's energy into a spectacular display of quantum physics gone wild. The hegemony fleet sensors, calibrated to track their weapon's destruction, instead recorded something unprecedented, a research station not just surviving their ultimate attack, but transforming it into art. But they weren't finished. Maya saw their chance and took it. Now, she called to Zara, let's show them what else quantum harmonics can do. The real test was just beginning, and with it, the chance to prove that cooperation would always triumph over coercion.